still feel like Warlock is pretty strong. We see the Dispels try to counter the Fatal Bonds from time to time. I mean, the biggest downside with this hero is, well, I guess there's a couple, but like laning potentially is not going to, depending on the combo, he's not going to offer as much as some other supports, but the cooldown on his ult is pretty ginormous, and that's definitely a window that a hero like Leshrac can take advantage of.
So, decent pick here if you're Quincy is okay. I was gonna say Abba. I was literally gonna say Abba. What you do
liar.
is
Objection.
I should have just screamed. I should have just said it as quickly
Abaddon?
as possible.
It's just
okay. They're gonna do this aggro thing where you put SVG on the Abba in whatever lane the Warlock is in, and you just dispel the bonds. Puck, I was gonna mention that damn hero too. God damn it.
You know,
you're an oracle,
right,
dude.
I don't know what this pick is going to
Quincy
be.
Crew, I've called. I'm just gonna call it ahead of time. Here.
Okay.
Just
all right, good. It's right there.
I'm gonna.
I
call
know
it
that I
here.
was thinking of these heroes. Yeah, I don't need your goddamn approval, Suns fan.
I'm really good at this game, and I'm gonna call this. It might take me 2 minutes to call it, but I'm gonna call it. In the meantime, I'm gonna mention the fact that Puck has slid to second phase these days is kind of crazy. Sometimes unpicked, unbanned. The combination between Coil and the Shard of Snapfire, pretty insane as well. I really like that combo, as we're still waiting for this pick, but I already know what it's going to be.
They needed something. They needed something with Warlock to actually stun. Like these heroes look really garbage so far in terms of like actually setting up with the Warlock. So they needed something that's not an offlaner. That's like, has to be.
That was it.
God damn.
Did you get it?
I will say on the record, I literally had no idea, and I would not have predicted that one. On the record, for God's sakes. All right, let me think about these last picks.
Now.
I will predict these last picks.
I want to see the Aghanim Scepter that you were hyping up the other day. I really want to see that.
Have not seen.
We didn't really talk about the Abaddon too
much,
but that's obviously the semi-counter to the Fatal Bonds from Warlock that we've seen like basically every game. We're seeing so many cores banned. I mean, Ogre Magi banned third. That's weird to me. Would have rather have the Abaddon banned than Ogre, personally.
Ogre Magi. Who bans Ogre, dude?
I
mean, sadboys just have that. Ogre against the refraction now, I guess. But yeah, it is peculiar. What are they missing on sadboys' side? They've got supports, offlane.
They need a carry.
Your carry. And, okay.
So they have like teamfight refraction peel with the Timber ults, with the Fatal Bonds, with the Snapfire ults. Like, they have decent stuff for peeling through the refraction, so I don't think that's an issue, but they really lack some like actual building hitter on sadboys. If some Luna was available, she'd be great, but of course she's banned. Troll is another fairly obvious one. I think the only problem is Lelis's hero still is up in the air, potentially, depending on where this TA is going.
Yeah, I've got the sadboys next pick. I'm just going to call it here real quick.
All right, thank you. Pulling the Jenkins, I like it. Right. Perfect.
I won't tell you, but I've got the call.
I literally have never experienced hatred before in my life until this point.
I'm just going to drop
visceral
name. Sven
festered hatred.
Could possibly something for maybe sadboys to pull out.
That's a good.
Maybe it's a bit ballsy. Maybe he can get kited, but I've loved seeing the Sven against the likes of Abaddon. I can't remember what game it was, but there was a game where Sven like one-shot crit the Abaddon straight through his ult and took him out of the game. So that kind of burst potential can be quite lethal, even against heroes you think have these sweet little defensive layers. But we'll see. We'll see. Bristleback ban. Okay. Even though they have having the break. Yeah.
I think that's fair. I agree that Bristleback is a little underrated right now somehow. And wow, Brood was available this whole time. Okay. I mean, both teams feel like they have decent answers to Brood, but who knows with the new Brood if that's even enough these days. So
true.
So yeah, Quincy Crew, I have no idea what position they're even picking, because it could be a mid-lesh position 1 TA, could be technically off-lane lesh mid TA. It could be so many different variations.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen Yawar play the TA or not. I mean, I wouldn't put it past him being able to play it, but not something I have seen much of.
Have seen him play the Lesh, and like I think a Hoodwink Lesh would be a really nice combo to dumpster a lane. You throw Abaddon in the off lane with like a +1, whatever Lelis's hero is. Venomancer maybe, something like that. Is it banned? No, Veno's not banned.
Veno. Oh, another disgusting hero. Wow, we get to see a Necrophos. Interesting. It feels like not the best Necro game, actually. A lot of magic damage. You don't really have a true Spirit Vessel carrier, I guess, for Sad Boys, which is a good, counter in the mid game for Necro.
Now you can't Sven or Spectre. So
that's true. It counters a lot of melee carries.
Same with like Wraith King, Lycan feels bad. Like Weaver seems decent. You can carry the game, against these semi carries, peel off the refraction. You can hunt the Lesh and the Necro in fights who would otherwise be kind of hard to kill.
That's it. Yeah, I like Weaver. It's pretty good. And obviously, if you're worried about a Necro late game, any nullifier carrier is what you really want, like for end game.
It's actually not a bad anti-mage game. Other than the TA, it destroys the Lesh, and it destroys the in-game because of the mana void, and then it destroys the Necro in lane. The only problem is you have, once again, this TA hero minus armor hero. Oh, they go for the Drow.
Okay, Drow puck. And it looks like it's going to be a bit fast-paced for Sad Boys. Quincy crew, though, can they hold the line with their good sustain and durability that they've put together? Jenkins, I'll come your way first.
Quincy crew, yes, they will win.
Yeah, I'm going to take Quincy crew as well. I feel like even though this is a small component of Drow, the Gust being able to be countered easily by heroes like Abaddon, Lesh, and Necro that all buy items to dispel stuff, it's not going to be that useful, I feel like. So, Quincy crew. Hot take.
Both Quincy over here. Yeah, hot take indeed. We'll go to a break. Let's see what the casters have to say about this one. We have none other than GoDz and PPD to bring you the coverage.
It's time now for game number 2 of Quincy Crew versus Sad Boys. Quincy Crew looking to, get one step closer to making it to the next major, hoping, to make it a TI, something that EG earlier today qualified for. But first, they got to get past game 2 here against Sad Boys. I'm GoDz, joining me is PPD. And it seems like, in general, a bit more optimism towards this Game 2 draft from Sad Boys.
I think the draft makes a lot more sense. I like that they opened up their first phase. They had second pick once again this draft, but instead of 2-3ing that Warlock Lion this time, they went with Snap Timbersaw, which I think is a much better rounded opener. And as a result, the rest of their draft looks so much better as well. I actually really like the Drow last pick. This hero can do very well versus Necrophos in lane because you stay at a distance. And then it also is pretty good versus TA in the game, I think, because TA wants to blink in and go on a target. And if that's not Drow, Drow is going to kill TA.
Early aggressive move from Quincy. They run straight down with a smoke, put an aggressive lane ward in the bottom lane where they will see Fear now. They didn't initially scam going to the tower. So we'll see how things unravel, if anything crazy or wonky is going to happen with these lanes. It doesn't, well, it kind of looks like it. It looks like Quincy are going for an aggressive lane with Lelis playing in the safe lane, but that itself has been scouted with Sad Boys having a ward up there.
Yeah, they're looking to dodge the Drow versus Necrophos lane, which I think is a smart decision, but Sad Boys doing a pretty good job of smelling it out.
And Quincy, they had the lane ward bottom to try and scout the lanes, but I think they just assumed Drow was backing off to maybe go for a block. They'll see Timber soon, but now they're going to be put in a spot where they have to decide, okay, do we swap lanes again, or do we just suffer these lanes?
Yeah, this ward is OP. It gives you full vision of the lane here, so Timbersaw is going to probably take some damage.
Gets the chain, but there is going to be a chain stun coming out from Quincy with the bushwhack into Split Earth, so Monster, yeah, takes a bit of damage, has got a Ring of Protection, though. Now he gets to his tower, so gets the bonus aura, so gets the extra regen and armor.
However, the lane did start on his tower, which means it's going to push out. He will get a double wave going in his favor, but if there's... Oh no, look, MSS is porting top, so... I actually think this is really, really, really good lanes for Sad Boys.
Yep.
I think the Abaddon, like I could see this Lesh being strong, but without another stun, I don't see it putting too much threat. And I think Sad Boys is very happy with the lanes they got. They have the core matchups I think they wanted for sure.
Well, unfortunately, maybe a lane that's going to be a bit tough is this mid lane. Already seeing Ryoya put under a lot of pressure, getting right-clicked down by Quinn, getting his range creep denied. Classic kind of puck counter in the mid lane.
Yeah, the early levels are the worst, I think, for... I'm not sure. This matchup in general is pretty rough. But Puck can achieve other things in the game that TA can't, so it'll be more about the mid-game and the kind of ganks he makes happen in the game. And it is a pretty good Puck game. They really don't have any disables for him.
All right. Well, we'll see how things go for Ryoya. Bit of pressure on him. Getting to play a more classic mid lane. It felt like last game, playing a mid Legion into a Viper.
It was not the pick, especially not for him, right? Like if you're playing up against Quincy Crew or EG or maybe even Undying as one of these lower teams, really just play to your strengths. I think play your comfort heroes. Play like you would, any pub that you were trying to win 30 MMR in.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Ryoya, sometimes has that maybe slightly negative reputation of being a pub player because that's how he became known. Maybe hasn't had the same competitive success, but even if he is that, why are you putting one mid Legion? That's not a hero he's winning pub games with.
Oh, and there's our first blood.
Yeah.
I missed it, but Free just kind of got caught out. Level 2 timing from MSS caught him off guard.
Oh. Do you know what all of Hoodwink's spells do? Like as far as okay, just check.
Yeah, I know them now. I played the hero I think 1 or 2 times recently. It's actually not too bad of a 5 position. Yeah. I think this hero can go early. You can actually go Aether Lens on the hero if you're playing this like 4 position like he is, or you could go. I still think like Solar Crest is just always solid.
Yeah. I think that's what he went last time MSS was playing it. It has been a Quincy first pick hero in at least some of their other games and series before. So
in many game 2s.
Yeah,
right. The hero goes unpicked, unbanned in game 1.
No, it was banned game 1. It was first banned game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
banned.
Maybe it is getting to a point where he really likes it. Yeah, I think it's a fine hero. Like I was saying, I think it's good. Do I think there's better heroes for its spot? Maybe, probably, but as an opener, I mean, who doesn't love it's a solid stun.
It does feel like part of the hero's strength is the discomfort factor. Bottom lane Moo getting going on, and you are LOA looking to get him under the tower. The Timber Chain there is going to help block them away, keep Moo alive. Nicely done by sadboys.
I think this bottom lane should be pretty easy for them. Pretty hard for them to die to a bad and Lesh, unless the Warlock is in a really bad spot. He's going to get a courier. It's very nice. I just feel like Lesh will never have enough damage to kill Timbersaw. Even at level 6, Timbersaw is probably going to be close to his hood. But I thought maybe if Lesh and if Lesh and Hoodwink lane together, there might be like a lot more threat on the Timber.
Top lane, Lel's getting very low. That minus armor with the Drought Frost arrows. I guess Fear knew that if he went for another right click there, Lelis did have a Death Pulse to heal up, but they're doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, there's a nice sweet spot where Drow can just kind of stay outside of that Death Pulse range and just sort of just kind of kite the Necro.
Yeah, and I feel like this Drow pick, I really like it because it does feel like it matches up pretty well against all 3 of Quincy's cores, like outranging the damage output of the Necro as well as against all 3 of these cores. Leshrac has to get close, so does TA, and Drow can just sit away from them.
Yeah, Drow not the most meta hero, but I think that just means you need to pick it later in the draft, and I do think that it is a very good Drow game. Matchups well versus all 3 of these cores. I think they might actually get it. Oh, yep, he's crushing top right now.
This level 2 Lil Shredder is just suddenly a big timing for them. Fear just needs a couple more right clicks with the Magic Stick charges, and getting stuck to a tree is going to force him back, but great top
little
lane.
Shredder plus that multi-shot does so much damage. But I was also going to mention that it's very good against the Leshrac as well. This is a hero that just kind of wants to run into fights and do like the magic lifesteal, right? And just AoE everything down. But Drow, with the frost arrows, Lesh just gets really kited and he takes a ton of damage unless he has like crazy armor items.
Hey, later on you can get that hypothermia, reduce Lesh's regen.
Yeah, and Fear is having a relatively okay laning stage. I think they're sort of losing all 3 lanes again, but I think that's more so just a player thing. Yeah. But as we approach like the mid game, I think they'll be in a much better spot than they were in last game to have a chance at some of these team fights. Yeah,
it felt like from when I was watching top that, like they were just outplaying them on the pulls rather than winning the clashes in the CS battle.
But Quinn does scoop up that 6-minute double damage in his bottle on TA, so he is going to be... I mean, he can start farming. No ancient stacks yet, but start clearing those pretty soon.
Yeah, he's maybe going to be asking his teammates if that's on the agenda anytime soon. As back at top lane, Zefric continues to just absolutely destroy. I mean, this has been the name of the game. Okay, maybe I've jinxed him. He's actually going to be in trouble. He's going to find a way out, and The Reaper Scythe is going to pick him off completely, Jinx, and that little shredder damage is insane, but that's a level 6 Necro.
Yeah, that's his second death really in the same spot. I think he's playing just far too aggressive. He needs to be closer to Fear, or Fear needs to be closer to him.
Oh, Fear gets caught by the Acorn Shot and the Bushwhack.
Nice rotation from LOA there, getting behind the Drow, and no TPs were prepared for Radiant. I think maybe Puck could have ported, but maybe he's feeling the pressure too much on mid at the moment.
Nope. Has got that level 6, and they don't really want to go on Quinn here. It's just a level 3 Warlock, so there's no real kill threat. If anything, they go on Quinn, he's going to turn around with that DD and make some plays happen himself. So Quincy...
The tower died top. With the first catapult, that's huge.
Yeah, I feel like just 2 minutes ago we were talking about how this top lane's kind of going at least okay for them. Like, Fear wasn't losing his lane, but suddenly this is a lost lane.
Yeah, and Quincy Crew just brought numbers and they're able to secure the tower. I really feel like Moo should be helping out his team. He's not really doing very much right now. He's just sort of roaming around. Yeah. Kind of sitting mid, but there's not really... I mean, there's a TA with a bottle of DD. Like, you're not killing the TA. Like, it'd be helpful somewhere else. But yeah, as a result, like, I guess the lane that was going best for them is now even in more trouble.
Yeah, it looks like Moo's just really dead set on trying to get that level 6, trying to soak up XP in this mid lane, and perhaps it's Ryoyo on the Puck who wants to be active, but unfortunately he's run into 2 cores on the enemy side who are going to catch him without the orb, and even with the coil being used, he still dies.
Yeah, so coil down, Quincy Crew showing some effort toward this mid tower. Neither support is level 6. Seafree, oh, they're just dying to TA traps right now. Gotta be careful. Yeah, you gotta be careful in the mid lane area. You need those sentries down if you want to come anywhere close to TA.
And we see Quincy more than happy to start playing aggressive, diving for these kills. Drow here, that takes a long time to come online. Timber, not the best rotator. He will rotate more to defend the tower than to make a play. You do not want to lose a mid-tier 1 tower this early on. So Monster going to pop his body in front with the Fatal Bonds to back him up, and we'll see if Ryoyo can make anything happen here. Unfortunately, using that coil means they don't really have much kill potential here.
Yeah, no real catch, and Quincy Crew making a really appropriate play. That's the one hero they don't want to force anything into at the moment, the Timbersaw. So he ports in, they are glad to just back up, and now that Timbersaw is ported away from bottom, you can see the pressure from Quincy Crew coming down here almost immediately.
Yeah, and sadboys themselves rotating, yeah, smoked up.
But Coil was still down, so not able to grab this Hoodwink. Dire's got vision, they know they're here. Puck is going to be unable to grab anyone for the moment, but Timbersaw's in.
Yep. Coil back up. LOA level 4 on the Abaddon does not have his ultimate, but he somehow just walks himself out of there. Coil comes out, but there's a Reaper kill. That's going to give Lelis a lot of regen to play around. It doesn't actually get the kill, though, so unfortunately, Lelis can be forced back. The Fatal Bonds connecting everybody, so it does force Quincy just to back off without any kills. Nicely done.
Yeah, very timely Hood of Defiance usage by the Timbersaw there. I didn't take too much damage from that, even though his HP was pretty low.
Yeah.
So yeah, nice defense, able to save their mid tower from that first one with the Timbersaw port. Now still able to save bottom tower with that Smoke of Deceit. Sadboys look more alive than they did in the previous game, actually making moves together. So
yeah,
things are looking better, not great.
You know, I felt like if they had that coil mid, they could have really made something happen. Whenever they have this coil, suddenly they're able to do a good job forcing these fights and plays.
Yeah, I feel like Drow's farm has kind of just stopped completely, though, ever since that top tier 1 tower went down.
Yeah. Well, back at mid, Moo.
Ported from Lesh on the right.
Drop the ultimate onto
they
Quinn.
don't know.
That bottom lane, it's a dive at the tier 2 bottom tower. They want Lelis. He's going to manage to juke his way out of there with the Ghost Shroud. Just not enough damage coming in from Monster. Fear, he dies deep, diving past the tier 1 tower. LOA will go down, but you are just shredding through people here with the AoE damage. Gets caught by a coil now. Ryoyo with the tower hits. Got to be careful. 1 or 2 more right clicks, or perhaps a nuke will finish him off. He manages to just barely escape. Zefrig missing every single glob, it feels like there, unfortunately, on the Mortimers.
He didn't miss every single one. Come on, guys. Like, he hit the first, 1 or 2.
Yeah, no. Everyone at the end. It's a hard spell to land.
Yeah, and Quinn does, or sorry, Yuar also does have the casual cloak, so that's pretty helpful against that snap all buff damage as well. So good pickup from him.
Yeah. Well, that was going on, Quinn took the mid tower and almost killed the Warlock, but forced Warlock to use just a defensive ulti.
Oh no, he actually dropped it, huh?
Yeah, just on the TA to save his own life.
I hate to see it. That's a sad state of affairs for sure. Yeah, TA is out of control. Sometimes this does happen. Quite often, TAs do get out of control. Most teams choose to just ignore her for a while, you know, let her do her thing, and then hope that she kind of just overextends without an Aegis at some point. That's probably going to be the case for them. I don't think they can really fight into this level 11 TA now.
Have you seen the new trendy hip TA build in your pub games? Are we seeing the Aghanim Scepter this game, do you think?
I don't know if... I doubt we're going to see it, because I feel like it's more of a new kid on the block sort of item. I think Quinn's a little bit more old school with it, so I feel like he's going to play your more traditional, just like Blink Deso sort of TA. I mean, he has a Dragonlance now, but pretty sure he's going to go Deso and be the building hitter with the Batten sitting behind him at some point. But I don't think we're going to see the Ags, unfortunately. I do think it is very good, though.
Nice move from sadboys. They come top. It's less about killing the Abaddon, but they set themselves up to take an objective, get this tier 1 tower. They are bringing all 5 heroes to make this happen, while Quincy, it feels like, you know, they're being a bit more efficient, getting more farm on the map, but it is, you know, a good sign of progression for sadboys compared to game number 1.
Yep, and trading this tier 1 tower, you know, not the most important tower, but what you can see what they did do is they defend their jungle, and this is exactly where Dire wants to hold their defense.
Yeah, they were waiting on the high ground, and they just easily kill off the puck. All it took was a single stun.
They're going to see this Drow port bottom. They're actually going to try and go on the Lesh. But Snapfire, TP got canceled up top, and...
Yeah.
Now he might be in... No, he looks okay. Just some supports fighting.
No sharpshooter up, so... I'll back off for now. Supports just poking around each other, and now LOA does have that level 6, which he's been eagerly looking for a while. Unfortunately, without it, he did die a couple of times.
Radiant is farming nothing at the moment. They're like only getting this mid wave and now the top wave. Drow's just been kind of standing around. He's gonna farm some. He's gonna farm his triangle finally, but Quincy Crew just really playing the map so much better at the moment.
Yeah, I feel like Lyles has just been sitting bottom for a good 3 minutes or 4 minutes now, just uncontested.
Yeah, he keeps the pressure on this bottom lane, and anytime that Radiant shows on this tier 2 tower, the rest of Quincy Crew knows that they can proceed to invade Radiant's triangle, or their Ancients area.
Monster top. Have they got the damage for him? Channels up the sharpshooter, he lands it, and Quinn gets the kill.
Blink. Hey, skipping the Deso for now.
Response from sadboys is to poke at this mid tier 1, but they've got to be a little bit careful as Quinn shows up with a blink dagger. We'll blink forward.
Yeah, he's feeling confident with the Sabaton behind him. He's pretty untouchable.
He was very close to getting Ryoga there. Got him down to just 1 hit for the kill.
And oh no.
Yeah. Oh no. Z-Freed.
Big rock though.
Okay, big rock in the coil. Yeah, they catch absolutely everybody on the Quincy side. As Quinn is just going to take out the Golem that's on top of him. Now LOA in the front lines with the Abaddon ultimate. Quinn still getting bursted down. The Mortimer's Kisses, he catches him with the last blob, but it's just not enough because the Abaddon, the Aphotic Shield save him, and now they're going to get a coil kill on the puck. Great 2-hero splitter as Leshrac jukes his way out of there. They've killed 3. Perhaps looking for more, not going to get more, but there was a buyback as well.
Ah, man, Radiant used everything, and they almost had it, but they're just a little too behind, I think, at the moment.
Yeah. Just need that, like, 1 more item rather than any kind of execution, do you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I think the execution was fine. They baited Dire to kind of run into them, and they got the huge Warlock Rock, plus a pretty good puck coil. The Mortimer's Kisses actually didn't get canceled by the Lesh stun, which was huge, but just not having enough damage or levels to put down the Heroes of Dire. And I kind of think that was sort of like last nail in the coffin, because I you know, if they have to wait for another round of alts for a fight, they're going to be down maybe 14k gold, and Dire's probably going to take an Aegis here pretty soon as well.
Going to take pick-off after pick-off on top of that, as Monster, even the tanky Timbersaw not looking so tanky there. Gets caught by a pretty straightforward combo, the Bushwhack and the Sharpshooter with some meld attacks, and you mentioned Aegis. Well, Quinn suddenly almost has a Deso, so getting Roche is going to be pretty straightforward for Quincy at this point.
Yeah, but the thing is, they don't really need to go Roche, right? They can just always play on Radiant's side of the map and just keep killing them over and over. It's, roaching is sort of a tool that you can use to draw your opponents outside of base or like off of a high ground that maybe they're, camped up on. But the thing is, Radiant just can't show on the map because Dire's heroes are just going to run at them and kill them.
And you kind of mentioned earlier, like Fierce Farm is just being completely shut down. He has nowhere to go. He doesn't have his own triangle of camps. The Leshrac has a bot who's farming bottom, and they're going to just go and catch Ryoyo in the top lane, trying to go for some split push action, so...
Yeah. Split pushing is the right choice, but he kind of... he orbed the wrong way there. He went into Dire space rather than away.
Well, I'd love to find some kills down bottom. Once you see those two heroes top, it's kind of time to go and reclaim your own jungle here, but... The Puck is the hero that catches, so if you're going to make that move, you need to find a way to stun heroes, and without Puck, they just aren't able to get any kills.
Yeah, a bit of a lineup draft, or a bit of a lineup fail, I guess. I didn't really notice that too much in the draft, though. Really only that Puck that can start fights. Would have been nice to have maybe a support that would be a little bit more proactive with this Timbersaw. That's why we see a lot of, like, oh, well, we have
in trouble.
fight.
Yeah, he mistimed the split earth. He's being healed up as well, shielded up, and that's going to bail him out here. Moo comes in with the rock. Is that going to be enough to kill the Lesh? The Spitfire coming out for the Mortimer's kisses.
Yeah, but here comes CC. Here comes Quinn.
Yeah, Quinn ready to clean up. Gets Fear on the back lines. Poor Drow does have a gust. Pushes Quinn away, but one last Deso hit. That'll find him, and Z-Freak going to get chased down, slowed down. Monster could be next. Does not quite have the mana for a TP. Has it now? Is there anything to cancel it? Oh, MSS. I think that Bushwhack was just about to connect, but...
Oh yeah, he's the Aether Lens now, and the Keen Optic, so he has this insane cast range.
Well, good game for him on the Hoodwink. I mean, good game for everyone, really, so far on Quincy Crew's side.
Yeah, except for SVG. He's got 3 deaths.
True.
Feeding last game too, though. Maybe just an off day for him.
Nah, tactical, He's when he was winning them fights, but he was saving teammates by running in. A 5-position life, as you probably know from some of your experience, sometimes you gotta throw your body to save a teammate.
True. Especially on a Batten, right? Job is to save. Trying mid, though, they found MSS.
Yeah. They got the damage for this. Yep, just barely.
Oh, I thought he was gonna drop the coil there.
Quincy were not interested in trying to rotate and back him up. They wanted that tier 2 bottom because now they can go for these outposts, but first they've got to be careful because Sadboy's running at them. In a 5v4, they're going to get Coil out on Lelis, who does have a defensive Yule Scepter. Well, Quinn.
Oh, double damage.
You blink, you miss it. DD one-shots Z-Freak, I want to say. And he's going to go for the next as he gets both supports. He wants Fear as well. Fear smartly just TPs out of there.
Yeah, I don't think Timber's going to be as lucky, though, this time.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no TP cancels. Oh, there's a Lesh stun.
Yeah. If he gets far enough away, one more chain.
Yeah, chain TP is fine. It's the
good.
Keen Optic.
I'm still running. I'm surprised he didn't go for it. He could have gone for the TP then. Now he may get punished. Necro has a Yule, so...
It's over.
Yeah. Oh, it's not... I mean, it's over, but it's not really over, luckily. Doesn't get killed by the Reaper.
Yes, shorter respawn time. An earlier... He's just going to feed faster now.
Look, there's still a hope. Oh,
damn.
Puck. Goodbye. I mean, I feel like they have to go for some crazy Roche contest here.
Bushwhack stun into Sharpshooter, and then you just pop the Acorn shot right off the end, like the same sort of global. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's nice. It actually does a ton of damage. This Aether Lens makes the Bushwhack really just come out of nowhere.
It feels like this Hoodwink as a 4 just does a ton of damage, but also has like lots of useful control skills. Vision as well from the Acorn shot. I've seen Hoodwinks be used just to spam that spell to, scout out Roshan and things. So a lot of useful utility.
Stun cooldown is just so low. I think it's the level 10 talent that really makes the hero at the moment. -4 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
And it's 14 seconds to 10 seconds. It's for a level 10 talent, that's pretty absurd. The heroes have 4 armor or 15 damage.
Well, Quincy, eye off Roshan now. As this is it. A 5-man smoke. They want to come contest it, but Quincy are like, we don't see anyone on the map. We got a lot of vision. We got traps floating around, and we see nobody. Let's figure this out.
Definitely showing respect for Radiant's ultimates. If they stand in and get 5-man coiled and fatal bonds, there is a small chance, I suppose, possibly. Oh, but that's a one-man coil on Necrophos.
I like how Lelis runs up, doesn't run up the hill. He just goes up and plants an Ironwood tree. Oh, Splitter catches Ryoya. One or two more right clicks or nukes will bring him down. Moo drops the rock, but there's just no damage to follow it up. Mortimer's kisses from Snapfire, not really just doing enough by themselves. They're just lacking the damage as Fear gets chased down. And maybe things go from bad to worse.
Maybe Radiant could have like re-smoked and try to find. I think what they went to try and do is like find the backlines, right? Find like, you know, coil the TA or the Hoodwink or the Lesh, right? Necrophos is like the worst target, and they call it. They tap out.
Yeah,
that's it.
It's game 2, and they see the writing on the wall. They saw how game 1 went, where I think they gave up like 50 kills in a 26-27 minute game. This one, you know, it was shorter, but it didn't actually feel as one-sided. I mean, it felt one-sided, don't get me wrong, but just a difference in caliber of these two teams above all else, really.
It was a severe shellacking in both games, I would say.
Well, you know, Sad Boys can at least, you know, be proud of the one series they got last week. I believe they're done now for the DPC. I think that's it for them. So perhaps a team, you know, we'll be seeing next DPC season in the lower bracket, a team we can expect, I imagine, seeing the TI qualifiers, whether it'll be with this exact same roster, who knows. But Quincy Crew...
I feel like it's really likely the same roster is going to come back and play lower division next season. I'd be willing to bet on that.
The exact same 5, yeah. Do you think this is a group of guys who will stick together?
No, I think this was a tough last series to have when your hopes for the tournament are already over. So not really surprised by the result of this one.
And there's probably, you know, some of the team who are already talking about, like, for TI qualifiers, what roster changes can we make to give ourselves the best shot? We've seen it time and time again, you know, that is the expectation, I think. And I think when your results are these, it's not a bad thing to be discussing. You know, I think they should be thinking of how they can improve their team. But...
Exactly. I mean, just because your season was a complete disaster, it doesn't mean you have to throw everything away and start over fresh. I mean, maybe you feel like it at the moment, but, you know, maybe just bring it back together. You know, this team definitely has good players with potential. They just need to be in the right fit. So keep moving those pieces around and see if you can't find something that works.
Yeah. As for Quincy Crew, they're done with their chores. You know, they've done the dishes, taken out the trash here. They've got some fun. They get to party now. They get to play EG, and then they get to play Undying. The real NADPC league now begins for them. What are your expectations for Quincy Crew with their last 2 series?
I think EG is just too good. As good as Quincy Crew is, I think they might make it competitive, but I feel like they're just going to run out of steam in that mid to late game, and the decision making from EG is just going to be, you know, they're just better, I think. So I don't think they're going to win there, but I like the Quincy Crew, like we kind of saw today. I think Quincy Crew is going to probably destroy Team Undying as well, just like EG did. So I think this, you know, we saw some glimmers of hope, right, with Undying taking down Quincy Crew last season. But when they went to the playoffs, right, it was not close.
All right. Well, some series to look forward to, and we'll see if things get spicy or not here to round out the NADPC League. But before we get to some of those later matches, we're going to head back to the panel and wrap up today's games.
See ya.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is Quincy Crew who get it done in a dominant fashion today as they take down the Sad Boys in their last series, a 2-0. You know, finishing out their season 1 for Quincy. You know, the tough competition now awaits. But we first break down this Sad Boys series. I'm here with Jenkins and I'm here with Suns fan, gentlemen. You know, I guess I'll start with you, Suns fan. It's a game I guess you could say is also worthy of a shellacking tier if you wanted to identify it as one. But, you know, even though we felt better about the draft, we all agreed, and the cast has agreed, unfortunately, the Sad Boys were just not able to put themselves in a position where they could, you know, really play Dota.
Yep, it was a better showing from the Sad Boys. This was still a shellacking, but not on the Gaben scale. It's on the lower end, one of the first couple, I guess you could say, which, again, don't care to look up what the actual names would be because it's just too complicated at a certain point. But Quincy Crew, essentially after the laning stage, came out ahead in terms of like their 3 cores just being the top 3 in the game in terms of net worth. And it just snowballed from there. And I have to say, MSS, I've only seen this hero Hoodwink played against played in these games where the discrepancy between the two teams is kind of large. So it's really tough to take a sample size like that and get a true gauge of how strong the hero is. But in these games, it does look quite good, I will admit.
Yeah, we're looking at the numbers now. Jenkins and Quinn. We don't get to see him play TA very often. 8-0 for him, and he keeps it old school. I like how Peter put it. He's not one to unfortunately entertain us with the likes of the Ags and such, but he gets his blink deso and just does what you should expect to see out of a TA in this kind of game.
I think the mid TA is generally the position for that hero where you do go for the Dragon Lances and Blink Daggers and get active, just because that's kind of what the mid laner role wants to do. And it also makes sense for this game, I think, to do that build because they were snowballing and they could run at towers, and there's no reason for him to do this like hard farming with the Aghanim Scepter thing when they can just end the game at an earlier timing. And with regards to this Hoodwink, I agree that they're beating teams of a lesser caliber, let's say, with the Hoodwink consistently, but you could argue that like that component to their draft is why it's part of why they're beating these teams, as well as the fact that I think that the build that he's been doing on Hoodwink, we've seen him change it quite a lot since they first started picking it. It seems like they are discovering what the actual play is on this hero. And I see a lot of people playing around the stun, and the Ether Lens makes a lot of sense for that. Just using that long range bushwhack and getting essentially this like vacuum into Lena stun-esque combo. That does seem like genuinely very good, regardless of whatever game you put it in. It's just a really great long range stun.
Yeah, and I've already mentioned at the top of this series, it's impressive to see, Quincy have certainly made some adaptations, some upgrades, some changes, or what do you want to call it, in their drafting style, in their hero pool, adapting to the new meta that has unfolded with this season very nicely. And I imagine it's going to make things a bit difficult for the likes of your EGs and Undying to be able to read them and prepare a sound strategy. So with that, we do have a winner's interview ready to go. So we have none other than the more impressive stat line there in that game number 2. We have Necrophos joining us, aka Layless. Layless, welcome to the broadcast.
Hello, thank you.
I asked the same question to Artur when he was on earlier. Congratulations, your team's support pack is now in the game. So what's it feel like having your voice be constantly spammed by your team and by your opponents and pubs and all that? Is that weird for you at all? Do you like it? Is it going to grow old over the time as we get closer to TI? What do you think about all that?
Playing official is kind of weird. Like, spam the voice line. I don't know if Mojo's talking or in the beginning, or if it's just a voice line. But I think we'll get used to it.
Good stuff. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be clamoring to pick it up now that you guys continue to pull the wins together. Obviously, an expected win here against the Sad Boys. I guess I'll ask you a bit of a Dota question. In game 1, you got to play a Timber where you got to, show off and have a good time. In game number 2, you're playing a Necrophos. To me, maybe I'm a noob. It seems like quite a different type of play style there. Is it a play style difference on your end, getting to kind of change from going Timbersaw into Necrophos? Do you have to kind of recalibrate yourself to prepare for a play style, or do you think you kind of just are able to roll with the punches of either hero pretty easily?
I think it's just a hero thing. I think if you know how to play the hero, you just adapt. It's not really a adapting process or anything. It's just how you play the hero. I think I don't really go into a game thinking like I have to play a certain way or something. It's just the way the hero is played. It just flows naturally. You don't really have to think about it that much, honestly.
All right, Layla's just getting in the flow state and getting shit done. I'm here with Jenkins and Suns fan, of course. Jenkins, I'll throw it your way.
Okay, I have one real question and then one stupid question. So I'll give you the real one first. As an offlaner, the offlaner that people are looking at in the NA region, according to these interviews that people, you're the guy people study. What do you think about this like strength offlaner versus int offlaner meta? Like, why is it that in this current meta, everybody's picking these like centaurs and axes? Why have these int heroes fallen off? And I know you just played Necro, but why are we seeing a lot less of these death prophets and nature's prophets?
I mean, first of all, I'm surprised that people are like studying me. I don't know. Doesn't
you're the man,
it's
dude.
okay. I guess we're like one of the better teams, but
in his thing that he watches you.
I don't feel like I'm doing anything special, but
so humble.
So before the 7.29, a lot of the melee heroes were kind of bad because Timber was like first pick every game, and the melee heroes like Axe was just kind of a weak hero because he would win his lane, but after he wouldn't really offer anything in these fights, or it wouldn't really do any damage. And then after the patch, Vanguard got really buffed, right? So these heroes that buy Vanguard are just good because the item made them better. So Axe is a lot better, Centaur is a lot better, right? Timber is still really good. And the fact that Timber is a good hero makes all the other strength heroes kind of weird to pick, because you don't want to pick these heroes when Timber's in the pool. So like you have to dress this hero, and you don't want to. Let's say some team just picks Timber first phase, then you don't want to pick a melee hero against it, like a strength melee hero, because then your draft just already has a weakness, right? They can just lane that hero against it, and then you're gonna be like, damn, it's just bad for us, right? So usually against Timber, you don't want to pick these heroes. But Timber got a little bit nerfed. He's still really good, but the Vanguard buff is the biggest thing for these heroes to come back.
Does make sense. It feels like kind of 50-50 now, whereas before it was like just the int offlaners being picked, basically. Okay.
Yeah, I think the Vanguard helps a lot.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So this question, kind of stupid. So this is not my idea. I'll say this is my girlfriend's idea, but I want to run this by you. She thinks that pastel filled with pizza stuffing, like pizza toppings, would sell really well in America. And I want to know if you think that's a good idea or not.
It sounds gross, but maybe. I don't know. People eat some weird things in America.
I'd eat it.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I don't think it would sell in Brazil. In Brazil, like we do it with cheese or with some meat or with corn. Something called palmito. I don't know how to translate that. I don't think pizza. I don't know. That sounds kind of disgusting. I don't know.
Okay. She's not gonna be happy. She's a big fan. Oh no.
I'd eat it, Jenkins, anytime.
Right,
Lelis, congratulations on the victory. As always, you guys are undefeated so far. I was wondering, did you watch the Undying versus EG game today?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so do you guys typically watch that as a team, or is it more of an individual thing? And then the side question to that is, were you surprised at how EG just completely disposed of them?
So the watching thing, it's kind of random sometimes. I think not being together as a team and just being everybody at their own house makes it less. We just watch less together naturally. But sometimes we watch games and we just talk about it like in Discord or TeamSpeak or something. It's not like some set thing. It's just random. Sometimes we watch it together, sometimes we don't. But usually like watching together, people are doing other stuff. Like sometimes we do. And I thought that Undying would put up more of a fight. I think it didn't respect the Brood at all. They just got brooded on 18, and I don't think they had anything against it, so they just lost 15 minutes. And the second game, what was the second game again? What did they pick? Forgot.
It's a good question.
I forgot as well.
We had to do Overwatch cases and everything between that. I like lost my mind, I'm sure.
I mean, I think Undying, I expect them to do better. That's pretty much it.
Mhm.
I kind of thought EG was going to win, but I expect Undying to put up a fight. They can maybe win.
The Bristol
I don't
game,
think it's like
so
90 to 10 or something.
Yeah, looked like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have
they got
general
annihilated.
question. General question to finish things off. For people that are trying to get, I don't know, whether they're trying to improve or get into the pro scene, what is it do you think that makes a good offlane player? Like, what's different about that role that people should try to work on that would just help them in that specific role going forward?
I think offlane, from what I've played all these years, I think offlane's a role that in a lot of games, what you're supposed to do, it changes a lot. So some games you're playing this initiator hero and you just have to hit your spells and you have to think about who you're jumping or something. Other games you're playing like Timber and you're supposed to be in their face and tanking spells. Each hero is just very different, and it's not very straightforward, I think. I think offlane, it really changed a lot. Like some games you're playing Brood, and then you're supposed to just take over the game with some last pick Brood. I think the strength of a lot of offlaners. I mean, I'll give you an example. I think Thunder Predator is a team that their offlaner is a really cheesy player. where they picked heroes on 18, where it's kind of just like a GG pick. Example, like they used to pick a long time ago. They used to pick like Bat Rider on 18, and then you just can't lane against it. You just end the game. The Beastmaster with Necro, right? Or some Furon where he couldn't lane against it, like some Timber on that slot or something. Like these heroes as offlane, they're really valuable to the draft and to your team. So you knowing how to play each hero and knowing how to use each hero to their maximum potential helps a lot for your team. And that's, I think, it's the most important thing. Like, I think these heroes in the offlane, they're very different from one another, and they do different things. And you need to know how to play all of them. Because if you play all of them, it helps your team a lot. Like you can just, oh, we can just pick this hero on this slot, and then it's the draft is really hard for the enemy team or something.
Great answer. Thank you.
Excellent. Aspiring players out there, I'm sure, very appreciative of you sharing that insight. I'm ready to let you go, but I have to ask, your next matchup is against Evil Geniuses this coming Sunday. Any thoughts on it?
I think it's like the most expected match, right? I mean, EG is really good. They got like top 2 at the major, and maybe they should have won it, but so I think, last time we managed to beat them, we had really good prep and we knew what they were going to do. We're gonna try just as hard. Like we want to win, and I expect it to be like a hype series.
Awesome. We
Want to
are
win though.
greatly looking forward to it for sure. And we know you guys want it. We want the win. We want to see an epic game, an epic series. We're overdue. We're tired of seeing shellackings. All right. So please give us some epic Dota, sir. We will leave you now, though. Thank you so much, GG's Laylis, and take care.
Thank you. Thank you everybody for having me. Bye bye.
Shout outs to Laylis for continuing to come on for the team. Greatly appreciate that. Quincy crew, obviously.
You know who he reminds me of?
What?
He reminds me of Fly. They have a lot of the same mannerisms. They're very calm. They're very eloquent. Very similar, actually, just based on the interviews so far.
Just say it. They're both sexy beasts. Just put it out
there. They're both very attractive as well. I mean, put a pair of glasses on Fly. Yeah, you got Lilith. Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
But I'm looking forward to it. I was kind of getting ready to kind of stoke the flames there a bit. I was about to be like, Arteezy said that we're going to be talking to him on Sunday. What do you think about that? But, Laylis is a pretty nice guy. I don't think he's one to kind of, go off and start BMing. If it maybe was a Quinn or something, I would have been like, come on, give us what we want to hear. And, these teams are taking it very seriously. I know at the beginning they don't see each other as a rivalry and such, but these teams will want to win this series. So I am definitely looking forward to it. Gentlemen, let's quickly transition in checking out the standings now that they've been updated a bit with the results based on today. And Jenkins, why don't you go ahead and walk us through? All right, I'm tired of hosting. You do this standings.
Yeah, sounds good. I'd definitely do this here. Sounds fan. Don't interrupt me. We've got Evil Geniuses and Quincy Crew at the top. Your objection is I'm going to negate that objection.
Overruled.
Yes,
overruled
of course.
Or
that
sustained.
I was going to, of course, say that. I know my.
You're doing great so far.
Thank you. Getting back into it, we got Evil Geniuses, Quincy Crew at the top. Looks like these guys are on another level. I think a lot of people seem to think that Undying are kind of on a level on their own at this point, and we'll see. I got Simply 2 based, black and yellow, middle of the pack. These guys, I don't think anybody were expecting that they would do this well. They were, supposed to be the bottom of the pack sort of team, so they're probably pretty happy about this and looking for those TI qualifiers. For Zoomers, of course, I think this team, they're probably a little bit disappointed with their performance so far this season because they were in contention to be in these like top 4 on about the same level as on Undying. And I don't think they've looked like that, but they've, switched around and gotten better very quickly before. So hopefully for the TI qualifiers. Then Sadboys and the cut. The cut, I think, is pretty expected. We're hoping they'd take at least one game off of some team, which they weren't able to. Unfortunately, Nick DCing in that one game that looked like they could have won was a bit unfortunate. And Sadboys is probably the most disappointing team in the upper division. I think they would agree with that. Individually, they all feel a lot better than second to last place in the upper division and getting relegated. These players are all tier 1 players.
For sure. Also, let's transition and checking out the schedule for the week. At least what's to come. We have a doozy of a day on this upcoming Sunday.
Sunday's going to be good. As you can see, our faces are on the screen, but there we go. Simply 2-base versus 4 Zoomers.
Be
Neither
quiet.
which of these
Oh, sorry.
teams will be making it to the top 2. Jenkins, your objection is overruled,
Okay,
not sustained.
okay.
By the way, thank you.
Put him.
Production, whatever. I make a great host, by the way. And then followed up, of course, by EG versus Quincy Crew, the one that we're all waiting for. The battle for the
There he
number
is.
1 seed in the DPC for the NA division. And if Quincy Crew beats EG and then lose to Undying like last time, we're gonna have a 3-way tie. We might just see the exact same thing. And that's followed up by probably the hypest lower division, Team Dogchamp versus Arkosh. Essentially the battle for that second spot. Of course, Arkosh would have to continue to win one more game, I believe, and then it goes to a tiebreaker if that were the case. But there's a lot of history there, gentlemen. Team Dogchamp, they hate Arkosh. They hate them.
Yes, they do. The whole
Scammers.
looky Slack situation. Hey, let's play for our spot. Psych, not.
Disgusting.
Very
Despicable.
poor behavior there by Slacks, and I know Lukey is on his redemption arc. So Sunday is a hell of a fight card. I'm looking forward to it myself. But we are done for today, gentlemen. So with that, we're looking to sign off. It was a pleasure to bring you NADPC coverage today. Please, again, show some love and support to our sponsors, XPG, by scrolling down and entering the giveaway. And love, of course, to our team here. We have Jenkins, we have Suns Fan, and we brought Pop-Tart in just for one last look. Shouts, of course, to production. We had, of course, Lyrical, Parker, and PPD, and Owie join us today. So a lot of fun. We'll be back Sunday, though. Incredibly hype. Dota ahead. Shouts
Both
to, of course,
Jenkins joined us.
Youthful Jenkins for joining us as well. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.